Recording is on.
Welcome everyone to the September 2nd, 2021 DXdao weekly gathering where we do recaps from the different verticals and squads. Yeah, we have an exciting, this has been an exciting week, and we will start with the product update team. So there's a handful of people not able to attend, working on a few different things, so we can cover for anyone that's missing. But yeah, let's, why don't we kick off with an update on Aqua. Ross, would you like to do that?
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so currently we've just been focusing mostly on sort of preparing for the MVP release, which will be mostly focused on DXD buybacks and sort of utility for the DAO. But we're just preparing this week to cut the release, and then we should be good for just waiting for the audit still. I think Phil's sort of not had great communication recently with John, so I don't quite know the status of them currently, but they could be a few weeks out still. But hopefully we should have some things to show a bit more publicly for the MVP, since it's essentially all done. We've also been working a bit on the fair sale, although that might be getting put on hold for a while, just with reprioritization. But that's pretty much it. Oh, we also have a logo, which you'll be able to see hopefully soon in the MVP.
Sweet. Yeah, that everyone's excited. I think for the branding of Aqua, a lot of wavy opportunities. Yeah, Omen, I don't think someone from Omen is here, but I know that they've been mainly working on guild-focused features, and making a lot of progress on that, and had a couple changes within the team. But as Ross has just mentioned, like in general, DXdao is thinking about prioritizing resources and where to focus, and what products and features of products to focus on, and based on like interest and where to concentrate, and what could be used, and what new features could be used most. And so in general, DXdao is thinking about how to prioritize the different developers across the different squads across the board. And so over the next probably few weeks, there will be more information coming out about any kind of realignments or readjustments of focus. But that's something that's ongoing, very natural. And yeah, it's a great way to optimize the total amount of resources that DXdao has to basically focus on.
And like a perspective, I think it's kind of two ways of looking at it. First, like the market changing and opportunities for products or services kind of changing and adapting to that. And then secondly, identifying what DXdao itself needs and building for DXdao itself. And I think this is some of the things that relates to governance. So I think as Sky said, it's a natural process, and it's kind of just the market and and DXdao's internal needs.
Cool. Next we can jump to Swapper. Zet, if you want to give an overview of what's been happening.
Sure. We've been super busy with the launch of Swapper on Arbitrum, and the launch of a token, and the future launch of farming, and actually a lot of marketing done. And so yeah, it's super exciting time. We just launched Swapper on Arbitrum. We did the first airdrop on Arbitrum, and we already have almost 500 Swapper holders. I think like Swapper is one of the most the biggest token on Arbitrum, I think, or something like that. I don't remember. Like obviously ETH is biggest, but like from of all tokens, I think it was one of the biggest ones. So I'm super excited. We grew a community. We see a lot of people coming into to Discord, ask and be interested, and yeah, things are moving.
Yeah, that's great. The friendly airdrop, which came with the launch of Swapper on Arbitrum and Swapper Token, has been a great way for DXdao community to interact with a handful of other, really interesting communities in the Ethereum space. And so just engaging with those, learning about them. There's been lots of good conversations in Discord and Keybase from members of those communities coming to learn about Swapper Token, and actually DXdao in general. And so it's definitely, it's definitely accomplishing part of the growth of awareness of DXdao and its products and Swapper across like a wider ecosystem of the Ethereum community.
Just two things related. One, I want to highlight in the chat, 521 addresses claimed. So that's really, I think, exciting, kind of expanding. And then second, a shout out to Nathan in Discord. I think for really, as Zet and Sky said, there's been a lot of new entrants into the Discord, into the community, and I think it's been really healthy and positive. And Nathan has been as meme-erific as always.
Yeah, I think Discord tried to hire Nathan, but he better not go anywhere. Cool.
And yeah, it has been really great to have the different interactions with the community. I think it does show that DXdao really can interact with the different communities and have a platform for itself. So I think it's just the beginning of that too.
Nice. Next, we usually move to our governance as a product, which is mainly DXVote. So in general, the last probably month or so, DXVote's been super useful. Alchemy, the front end of Alchemy for DXDAO's governance systems on mainly mainnet and XDAI has been having issues. There's graph issues, and so DXVote's is being used more and more by the DXdao governance community, and there's a whole bunch of features that are in DXVote that allow basically easier governance and better governance, multi-token, like a multi-call, so a request where you can have a request for two different tokens at the same time in one proposal. That's not something that was even possible on Alchemy on XDAI, and then also having a good view of like all the actions of redeems and things that you need to do as a governance user. And then obviously the expansion of DXVote onto Arbitrum, which comes in tandem with Swapper launching on Arbitrum, has been ongoing. And DXVote in general, we've been having discussions around obviously like governance systems and all the different types of governance happening in the Ethereum ecosystem is just becoming more and more of a big conversation. And DXVote allows DXdao community to lead with like its style of governance of like having reputation voting and eventually reputation plus liquid token governance, and having it stand out as a really unique governance offering in the space. Obviously, it's something that DXdao is mainly built for its own use case, but eventually it can be expanded into the ecosystem, and it's getting better and better. So that's really great to see.
And then also in some of the discussion on like the resources realignment, I think it's also kind of be the formation of maybe like a more governance focused product, which will kind of feed into those DXvote and a lot of the other ways that we, the tools that we use.
Sweet. And then last topic from a product squad perspective is the product of Carrot and conditional KPI tokens. That conversation is picking up. We obviously have other priorities going on right now, but very soon I think that will become a much bigger focus to get over the line. There's like MVP version of it. We're having conversations with a few different projects who already have a big interest in the platform, like a very simple version of the platform, which is what we'd likely start with. DXdao itself, with Swapper token now, is like going to be doing farming campaigns, and I think the whole space agrees that like smarter farming, so farming, what people are calling farming 2.0, is like definitely the future. And so the sooner we can put our own use cases into this, in like conditional token product, which is Carrot, we can start experimenting for our own use cases, but then also other projects will be able to become early partners as well. And so it has a big place in like smarter farming, I think. So excited about that, but need to get resources refocused on getting that over the line so that it can be start being used. Next, we will go to other squad weekly recaps. We usually start with governance. Chris, would you like to give a recap of that?
Yeah, I just kind of the last couple of weeks, I was actually catching up with things. Dave had done a really great job of organizing things and doing that. So yeah, there's been a lot of things in terms of getting Swapper and Arbitrum up. There was a Swapper launch, Swapper token signal proposal that went through governance. It was very extensive. And then there was an Arbitrum launch plan and a couple other proposals related to that. There's also been discussion or moving forward with a couple initiatives as it relates to HATS, which is a security bug bounty project, decentralized bug bounty project that DXdao is involved in a couple ways. So there is currently, I think there's not a proposal live, but there's about to be a proposal live for a $100,000 grant to HATS from DX Ventures, and that'll be an investment into the project there. Simultaneously, we're working on like a more security committee that actually manages the communication for bug bounty reports. And there's a whole system that HAT sets up with in terms of secure communication and a multi-sig that can kind of disclose any vulnerabilities and without having any loss of funds. So that's going to be, I think, something we'll have to have a more explicit process on, like who that committee is, how they're kind of making decisions and what exactly. But I think as a DXdao has struggled to have a bug bounty because of its decentralized nature, right? I think a lot of the G5 protocols have pretty significant bug bounties, and I think as we scale, and there will be things to address when you figure out how to do this in a responsible way, but also is kind of still decentralized and maintains the ethos. So that will be moving forward and something to watch over the coming weeks and months. And then I don't think Dave is on the call, but there was it's been discussion on the Treasury Diversification version 3, or I think shorthand TDP v3. And so this is another initiative to reallocate some of the assets in DXdao's treasury into different assets. The big move with this one would be a $3 million allocation to RAI. RAI is what some people are calling a stable asset, because it is not, it's meant to be stable, but it's not pegged to the US dollar. like USDC or even DAI or anything like that. So it's supposed to be stable, irrespective of the dollar, which makes it really like the most decentralized, stable asset. And so I think as DXdao looks to diversify its treasury, and really I think it's also diversifying the risk of those. In the previous versions of the treasury diversification proposals, there were millions of dollars of stable coins were bought, and those were across USDC, USDT, SUSD, and DAI. Those though do come with some centralization risk. USDC and USDT can literally blacklist you, at any moment. DAI is over 50% backed by USDC at this point. SUSD is pretty SNX is controlled by a pretty centralized team, but the strategy with that is really kind of diversifying across each of those assets. That spreads your risk more widely, and this is continuing in that trend. I think with RAI there is also some risk, but it's more with like smart contract risk, and it is a new project that's only around for 7 or 8 months, but it's a different type of risk than the other stable coins. So I think it's a good move. There's also an allocation to LUSD, which is for the liquidity protocol, which is kind of a new wave lending protocol and stablecoin. It has a lower capital efficiency for the collateral. It's only 110%, and it's also only ETH based, so maintains the decentralization ethos. So I think that proposal has actually been submitted on mainnet, but as Sky was mentioning some of the alchemy problems, I don't think it's actually appeared yet, but that will be the first kind of the approval of that plan, and then there will be some execution over the coming months into the diversification on that. And then, yeah, I guess that was kind of it from governance stuff. And then, yeah, a bunch of other things, but.
Cool. You covered a lot and covered treasury as well. DX Purse.
DX Purse. That's good. I like it. I need to start saying that.
Yeah. Next, we can give some updates on DXBiz and DX Ventures. I guess one of the most interesting and immediate topics would be what Chris briefly mentioned is the relationship that DXdao is having with hats. Hats. So there's two. It's really interesting, and this is it ties in well with like what DXdao and DX Ventures mission is, but DXdao has like a very strong desire to participate and become an early user of the HATS system, which is a great way to provide bug bounties for the certain contracts that the DAO decides to include in the system. It's a decentralized system that's using HATS token as like the financial incentive mechanism to have people report or to increase the usage of this protocol, where white hat hackers can report vulnerabilities and receive a portion of funds that are locked in a vault. And in that scenario, DXdao would put like a certain amount of DXD token in a vault, which would be used as the award. And actually anyone in the community that also wants to protect or incentivize like white hat disclosure of bugs could add additional DXD to that pool. And as part of that, anyone doing that can earn HATS token, which is like incentivizing this protocol. Separately, DXdao thinks like this type of product is highly needed in the space, and especially the DAO space, where DAOs need to be able to offer these incentives in a smart way. And so DXdao is also thinking about giving a grant to the HATS program, which would give like DXdao participation, like deeper participation in the project. and even like kind of more ownership alignment as a user. So Hats initially recently announced an investment seed round, but there's usually like just investor or just user of the protocol. And in this case, it's very unique where DXdao could potentially be a big early user and a grants investor in the actual project. So that's super cool to see. It's kind of, I think that will become more and more popular across the Ethereum and DAO space, but look out for some on-chain proposals related to that quite soon as we move forward with both of those things in parallel. And then biz related, there's a handful of projects that should be update on Opolis. Gave an update on the Monday call, but can recap it here, where the investment grant that DXdao gave to Opolis a number of months ago, DXdao now has the work tokens that give it governance, say, and ownership in like the Opolis cooperative. There's a couple different things. DXdao has those tokens on mainnet. There's a couple different things DXdao can, or a few different things can do with those tokens. Mainly that the Opolis system is running on Polygon network, and currently DXdao doesn't necessarily have a presence there. There are a few different options in order to participate in that. Potentially like a smaller based multi-sig to like put those work tokens to work. Another option would be to potentially have like some type of work pool on Swapper, depending on the chain. It could be on one of a few different chains. There is actually very soon some work liquidity pools that will be launching in the ecosystem. So I think there will start to be a value for that work token, which could then make it more of a reason to like potentially create a swapper pool with that token as well. So I guess the best place to follow all the other things that are happening would be to watch the Monday recap call as well. But let's move to the next topic, which is DX Voice. Keenan, I know you've been off, but is there any update you'd like to give here?
Yeah, of course. I've been reduced capacity the last 2 weeks, so maybe missing a thing or two here, but I've got a little bit of a recap. Starting with Arbitrum, obviously we've been super focused on Arbitrum a lot of our time, including graphics, launch articles, communications, and looking to the coming weeks here. We're planning co-marketing, guerrilla marketing, articles on top of our current articles, airdrop and farming CTAs, and much, much more. So lots happening and still happening surrounding Arbitrum as we start to roll out. Last week, we hosted a special Arbitrum launch community call, which included the second Swapper AMA and a POAP. This community call, as you may remember, was a record setter. We had roughly 70 attendees at the peak, which is a large step over our, I believe, previous record of roughly 35. So lots of excitement in the community, which is obviously boiling over into our social channels. On top of this, the social highlight program started late last week, which aims to further integrate the community with DXDAO's decentralized social voice approach. Now anyone's able to leave social material in a special Discord channel, and it'll be shared and interact with through DXdao socials. On the Discord, we're now a level 2 boosted server. This gives us some additional vanity, audio quality changes, and some fun community tools to work with. We also reworked the primary roles, fully revamped the verification system, which was causing some problems before. Changed the permissions on ticketing so any contributor can help with any issue that the community has. And we also set up some special channels for the Swapper airdrop. Regarding the community, I wanted to say Chris mentioned, I believe, but I'm super, super happy to see such a large inflow of new faces in the community, and very thankful to everyone that's been around in my reduced capacity to help with that info and welcoming new people, namely Nathan, of course, but everyone else that's been around. So thank you for that. We've also been preparing some windows of time in such a way that we'll always have someone available through our socials, so we won't have any dead air. The last couple of things here, DX Voice has been working with a couple of researchers and students surrounding our governance framework and structure, just to share a bit more of our narrative, how we operate. And last but not least, we have several potential interviews, press releases, podcasts is lined up coming here in the next couple of weeks, hoping to integrate that with our strategy surrounding the Arbitrum launch. And yeah, that's a recap. May have missed a thing or two, but.
Sweet. Thanks, Keenan. Last but not least, and our favorite, we have contributor experience, and we have Melanie. Anything late or anything happening in that world?
Yeah. Hey everyone. So just a quick update on Contributor UX. Nothing quite as exciting as DXvote or everything that's been happening with Swapper and Arbitrum, but I will do my best to just highlight what we've been working on these past few weeks. The proposal for DX referral passed on chain. DX referral is the long-awaited contributor referral program here at DXdao. DX referral is a reward program specifically for those who refer any new contributors to DXdao. Essentially, we want to recognize those who refer any new contributors to DXdao by giving them a reward, just to be allocated in either ETH or stablecoin. There are some parameters around this reward program and specific guidelines, so that those can be found in the forum. In addition, we have concluded our search for the next marketing lead at DXdao. We were working alongside the blockchain recruiting agency position over the past few months, just interviewing candidates. And then finally, over the past few weeks, we were able to fill the role. So DXdao has now welcomed Nissa, and she'll be joining DXdao and our DX Voice squad just to help on like a bunch of the initiatives that our marketing squad is working on. She currently has an active proposal outlining her scope of work and looking forward for more things to come. And also to learn more about the experience that we had with Position, they will be posting an article on DAO Talk and I think on Twitter, just recapping the learnings of recruiting for a DAO. Lastly, we have been planning more around DX Retreat, the LizCon conference, and ETH Lisbon Hackathon in October. We recently confirmed a venue and are hosting an event, a panel discussion specifically around the future of prediction markets, highlighting our own prediction market, Omen. While we are in Lisbon, it'll be happening on Friday, October 22nd. Just looking forward to that and getting ready for that. But that's my update. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Melanie. Cool. So, this was a good recap call. We flew through it. In general, we are thinking about new ideas for to mix in with this slot. Like maybe this recap call could be once a month, and one other new idea is we have every other Thursday we have the DXdao community call, which takes place on Discord. There's been more and more interest to maybe try doing some joint community calls with other DAOs in the space or other communities that we are working with. These could be AMAs, these could be like joint update things, but as DAOs interact more with other DAOs and communities intermix and people cross over between the two, it might be cool to start experimenting with something like a joint shared community call once a month. And so maybe we'll try that in a couple weeks. And that might take place on Discord, but we'll keep the options open. thanks everyone for tuning in, and keep looking out for all the exciting things that are coming out from DXdao.
Thanks, Guy.
Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.